funny guy. You have seen him on Comedy Central, and you're about to see him right now. Please give a big round of applause for Robert Dean.
All right. Keep it going for Chris, everybody. Please keep clapping. I know you're thinking, who am I? I assure you, I'm thinking the same question. Who am I? Anyone else having an identity crisis right now? I'm having one because last night I tried to create myself in a video game. You guys ever do that? Oof, it's a nightmare. Because according to this video game, my hairstyle can only be described as 1950s lady. It's a bob cut, all right? My name is Robert. That makes the most sense for me. Growing up, my parents told me they named me Robert after the doctor who delivered me. This is true. And that tells me my parents planned nothing. The doctor must have been like, congratulations, a healthy baby boy, what's his name? And they were like, I don't know, what's your name? And he's like, Robert, and like, ooh, that sounds good, let's go with that. We were gonna name him Hospital. Hospital? Am I Hospital Dean now? I went to a therapist for about a year recently, and then I stopped going to my therapist. Went for an entire session, he got my name wrong. This is true. Here's what happened. I was sitting on his couch and I was telling him how paranoid of a person I am. And I'm a really paranoid person, but I don't have to tell you guys that. You guys know that because that's all you ever talk about. And this is the exact quote from my therapist who I've been seeing for a year. He goes, listen, Rich. You have to stop worrying about everyone else in the world and worry about one person. Richard Dean. And I was like, who's Richard Dean? And he was like, exactly. So I laughed. And I was like, I think I'm cured, Doc, thanks. Also, I was telling him how paranoid I am. He could have just asked, were you stoned when you thought that? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, there's your problem. Anyone else on drugs? I do drugs occasionally a lot. Last month I did acid for the first time, and boy are my arms still snakes. Does anyone here work at the Weather Channel by any chance? Anybody? Anybody? Going once? Going twice? I think it would suck to work at the Weather Channel. Because I have no idea how you'd small talk with your coworkers at the Weather Channel. You know, you get on the elevator with some guy, you're like, hey, how about this cold? And he's like, leave it in the office! That guy walks outside, he's like, gah, work, work, work! Over the holidays, I gave my very first back in my day speech. Too young to talk like an old man. Well, my little cousin was trying to brag to me about how he saw The Hobbit in IMAX. And I went, IMAX? Back in my day, IMAX was only at the museum. And it was always a helicopter ride through the Grand Canyon. Penguins if we were lucky. My internet was out the other night. Have you guys ever tried to hack into your neighbor's Wi-Fi? That's so hard. Have you guys ever grabbed a dictionary and been like, all right, let's start from the top. Aardvark 1, Aardvark 2. It's gonna take a while. One of my neighbors named their Wi-Fi network Puerto Ricans Only. I thought that'd be easy to hack, but it turns out the password was not, I'm Puerto Rican. Don't worry, I also tried Yo Soy Puerto Ricano. Covered all my bases. I recently made myself laugh very, very hard recently because I forgot to do laundry and I was out of clean pairs of underwear. And has anyone else ever in that moment considered wearing a t-shirt as underwear? If you haven't, here's what happened. I put my legs through the armholes. Then I pulled it up. Then I quickly realized that the neck hole completely defeats the purpose of underwear. That is, of course, until I discovered a new purpose for underwear, which is to try and stand on your hands in front of the mirror and pretend you're a penis-headed feet-for-hands monster. And purpose achieved. I'm Richard Hospital Dean. Thank you very much.